To Trading Capital's exclusive analysis. In today's video, we're discussing Tesla. So obviously, there's a lot of interesting price action that is unfolding in front of us on the daily chart. There's actually a very, very bullish potential pattern forming right now, and I think everybody is watching this. I mean, everybody. Why? Because Nvidia has had a sky high run. Microsoft has been tearing to the upside. Apple had a phenomenal performance. You're still seeing Amazon, Google, Meta performing exceptionally well. So the question is, can Tesla finally get back into that, magnificent 7 mega cap range? Because right now it's certainly still underperforming as the equity markets are still near the all-time highs but have pulled back in recent sessions. Now the question is, are we going to get this neckline to break? But the bigger question is, if we do, what upside levels are we looking at? If you simply do that measured move from this neckline, you can see that Tesla potentially has still about a 40% or a $58 rally to the neckline, which would take you to about 246. Now, the question is, what could propel Tesla higher? We obviously all know that as of August 7th, Tesla is going to be releasing their robo taxi. I think that there's a strong chance if we break out, this breakout is on the hype around robo taxi. And let's face it, if they do announce a successful robo taxi launch, that could be a huge, huge winning catalyst for that ticker. Tesla, could catapult them. They could take market share from Uber. They could take market share from a lot of other transport stocks. And that's just the tip of the iceberg if this does turn out to be a success. Obviously, there's still going to be a lot of kinks and things to work out. It's not going to be a straight 100% success out of the gate. But the question is it enough for investors to believe it? And is it enough to push the stock higher? Because I'm certainly looking at trading this one on the long side. My members already have taken call options on this name, and we actually netted a beautiful, beautiful gain of around 31% in one day off of this huge move, which ended up selling off, and then you had a beautiful spike. So I'm looking at the intraday 10-minute chart here for traders tomorrow, and if Tesla breaks this neckline, you have a nice solid move all the way up to 188. But the question is it going to break out? Or is this going to be a rejection? Because keep in mind, you still have a much, much larger head and shoulders pattern at play on the weekly chart. And that's still in effect. That still technically has more downside. But if we get back above this little neckline zone, that could mean bullish price action. Just to show you into perspective, if I erase everything here, all of the drawings, you can see this huge, huge resistance pivot that Tesla's trading into now. Look at this major, major level. If Tesla breaks through this area, there's a lot of momentum and upside to be played here. Look at these consolidation ranges that happened here. Back testing here, we're now hitting that area to extreme. So this is a massive, massive level. And believe it or not, if we get a breakout here, I think Tesla has a strong chance of basically retesting this upward trend line, call it 226. So you can see pivot high to pivot high to pivot high to pivot high to pivot to pivot. Again, I'm watching Tesla and I am leaning slightly a little bit more bullish, especially if we get that breakout and especially if we see more capital rotate out of semiconductors, more capital rotate out of some of the major, major mega cap stocks that have seen terrific runs over the last several weeks and months. And I do think that this is a name in the S&P 500 and NASDAQ that could simply catch an oversold rally on a potential game-changing business model hype, the robotaxi. So again, all eyes on Tesla. I'm waiting for that breakout signal. Although I have positioned myself long, we are putting in a beautiful, beautiful consolidation pattern here on the daily chart. And it does look like we're trying to hold that 183 and push higher. So all eyes on Tesla. Watch it because it is a fast, fast mover. But even if you wait for a confirmed break above that neckline, there's still a huge amount of upside to be had in this name if we do get that technical breakout. Now on the bearish front, what do the bears need to watch? Well, if you simply break this little bit of a low pivot to your next pivot, if you break down here, that would be a failed breakout potential on Tesla chart and likely means that head and shoulders pattern that we discussed on the weekly chart here could play out. Again, just be careful that there's still lower highs in place. Despite we're putting in a potential higher low here, we have not put in a higher high just yet. So we are forming a wedge pattern. This wedge pattern's apex is quite a ways away. So it doesn't mean it has to break out and it doesn't mean it has to fall, but you can clearly see it's at a 50-50 range here. Are we going to fall to the lower boundary range or are we going to break to the upper boundary range? So the risk to reward honestly is at an interesting spot here because you can kind of go either way. But I am leaning slightly more bullish in the near term if I have to pick a side. On that note, thank you, R. Please give this video a like down below, and we'll see you on the charts a little bit later.